Alright, we've got a Gamecube Wavebird controller, which is the wireless controller for the original Gamecube. Now this one's a little bit beat up. I actually swapped out the motherboard from this one, put it into another controller that I got a few of them for cheap. And this one, the motherboard worked, but the controller has definitely seen better days. Looks like somebody's dog got the better end of it. But this one wasn't powering on, so I kind of cut my losses and threw it all into the one that looked the worst. Figured just put all the bad things in there. In fact, I've already replaced the joysticks on it, but I'll have to grab those back out to show you what the dog did to those two. Essentially, this was bit off, this was chewed up, it was a mess. But I wanted to revisit this and see if I could get it to work. So earlier, I actually already fixed this, but I'm going to kind of go through it again with you because I did find something interesting that might be helpful to people out there. Because the first thing that I noticed, usually when things are not powering on, that's what this one was doing, is you flip the switch, no light, no response, nothing. And checking the back, battery contacts or terminals, usually the first place I look, and there's no corrosion on this one. There's no corrosion at all. But with the batteries, new batteries, didn't seem to matter. It wouldn't do the trick. So I already removed the screws on this one so that I can show you what the issue was here. I'll set that to the side. So you can see the motherboard looked fairly clean. There weren't really any issues from what I could see. I even took it out, inspected the battery terminals. I also had taken and ran the multimeter on the battery terminals. They seemed to be passing the full voltage through. It was, I think, like 3.6 volts, which 3 volts is probably all it needs. Put the batteries in, touch these two terminals here to get the voltage. Everything seemed to work okay. But I had seen a video where somebody was taking alcohol and pretty much just running it along this power button. So I figured I'd give that a try, and what's the worst that could happen? You know, worst thing to happen is it doesn't work. So I tried that, and that didn't really seem to do the trick. But what I decided to do was I actually decided to pry this little cover off here, which if you pull out one end, you can see that comes out just like that. And I'm going to pull this off all the way. Let's see if I can do it without bending the cover. So there's that. And what you can see is that this piece, or this is the power switch, and all it is this little plastic slider here, and put that right there. This little metal piece right here. That's all it is. And it slides up and down, bridges the connection, and Bob's your uncle. So what I ended up doing was, when I took this apart, I did notice that there's a little spot right there. And I ended up taking my dental tool that I just used to pry this up and just kind of scraped it off. And there was a little bit of residue that had come off with it. And after I removed that, I put this all back together again, which I'm going to try to do very carefully. This thing is a pain in the butt. That's the one thing I'll say, is that this takes some finesse for sure. So you get that somewhat in place, and then we take our power slider here, which got to make sure is facing the correct way. You can see that bump on the right hand side stays on the right hand side. Drop that right on the little connector, or little I don't even know what to call that. We'll call it a bridge. It's kind of little copper bridge. There we go. So that's on it, just like that. A little bit loose, and then we have to put our little shield over it. Make sure we put it on the right way, so that it fits. And I'm putting, looks like this side down on the right here. Oops. I'll try really hard not to, I'll try triangling this differently here. That's better. Make it so that I don't bend this at all. And I don't want to knock those pieces loose. Those are very, very tiny. But then all we do, son of a monkey. Get that out there. I can't say I had much better luck. Earlier, didn't do exactly what I just had done there, but it was pretty close. I had so much trouble getting this spring bridge, whatever you want to call it, into this slot in the first place. And a little bit better luck with that this time around. Just takes some time. Oh man. Well, that's fun. Part of me wants to take this and just like super glue it into the little slider to make this a lot easier, but it's worked fine without it all these years. So why try now? Okay. Silly thing. Worst thing about all this is that I had already put this back together, but I thought it would be nice to show everybody what I had to go through. So we'll see whether or not it was worth it. There we go. There's the slider bars down. Good. Okay. Let's see if I can get this on without breaking it again. Or flinging it all over the place. I'll try using my fingers this time. Okay. There we go. Clipped it right back in place. 20 minutes later. Now that goes up and down. And just to show you, this is all not for nothing. Just slide some batteries in here. Okay, and there we go. Let's see a little LED switching on, switching off. Works like a charm. And I'm going to show you the other issue that I'm dealing with this controller is actually going to dump out the buttons because I don't need them right now. But one of the issues was I actually had taken that other controller that I got that I took this motherboard out of, took it apart to clean it, and the word to the wise, there's a little LED, I don't even know what to call it. There's a plastic piece, a clear plastic piece that fits right in here, and I lost it in the sink. I had let it sit overnight and completely forgot all about it, but there's a piece that just fits right in here. And, yep, well, it's gone now. So now when I turn it on, as pretty as it is that it turns on in the first place, that little piece is missing. So I was looking around on the interwebs to see if there was at all any place I could find that sells these. Came up with nothing, really. You pretty much either have to find a garbage Wavebird that you're going to just use for parts, or you got to get creative. So I found a Reddit post, which I'll try to post in the comment or put in the description who provided it, just to give them some credit. But they had the genius idea to use hot glue. And if you've watched some of my other videos, you know that I am not opposed to using hot glue in creative ways. And this, I think it's very creative, and I think it's got a lot of potential. So what I'm going to try doing I'm gonna take some regular blue painter's tape. I'm gonna cover this hole up so that when we put the hot glue in the little hole there, which I'm not sure, I might use a little piece of plastic or something to prevent it from going into this area here. If I can close this off and just fill this gap here with hot glue, then theoretically that should make it look very similar to what the originals look like. And to give you an idea, see that in there? Looks very close to hot glue. So we're gonna try it. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna spend some time looking through my spare parts to see if I can't find something to just slide in through here, a little piece of plastic or something, maybe a credit card, something that I can break off of the plastic or off of the hot glue easy enough, and then we'll start up another recording. See you then. All right, well, I've got the magical piece here. Cut a little template down there at the bottom because there's a little, you can see a little ridge. I wanted it to sit as flush as possible because I didn't really want it fitting underneath or slipping underneath the template there. So this is what I got, and I think it fits pretty well. I'm actually going to use one of my little helping hands here to hold it up, Doc Ock style. Although, you know what? Now that I'm looking at this, I'm thinking it's going to go right over the top. Yeah, this seemed like a good idea. This is a good idea for a template, but this area right here, that's not going to be very good. I need something that's going to block it like this instead. So I'm going to do some cuts again, and we'll see if we can make it better. All right, I think we've got our template here. Third time's the charm, and this should fit in just like that. And now I will use my helping hand to keep it in place here. Yeah, you know what, maybe I'll just set it there. I think that's probably going to be sturdy enough. Or maybe I'll just hold it there with my finger. The helping hand seems to be a little too anxious there. Alright. Next up, we're going to plug in the handy dandy hot glue gun. Yay! Okay. And we're going to get some, turn that puppy on. Kind of excited for this because if this works, it'll make me feel a little bit better about if I lose those pieces again. But yeah, I'm also, I know, I want to try to find a way to fix this mess. From what I've found, there's probably not going to be much that I can do other than, you know, maybe sanding it down. That might actually be the best that I can do. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Try to get a view for you guys here. What I should probably do is find a way to hold this with my... I really don't want to burn myself here. There we go. Nope. Alright, helping hands. Let's see. Well, at the very least, I can stay in view, and I can hold the helping hand. There we go. Alright. See if my glue is hot enough. Yep. Okay. Here goes. always hate how stringy hot glue is. But I think that's going to do the trick. Come on. Probably have to just cut that off. Good news is, once this dries, we will, if it doesn't work, I can kind of just pull it out of the case here, or yeah, pull it out of the shell, and we can try it again. I don't know, feeling kind of good about this though. We'll see. I felt kind of good about my last foray with hot glue, and it didn't really go very well. But we'll see what happens. Really, all it needs is that dull orange light. Okay, I'll undo this. So I think we're gonna be good. Another nice thing about hot glue is it dries really, really fast. Okay, take that little tail off. And we're gonna peel this painter's tape off. That actually looks pretty darn good, if I don't say so myself. I wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. Now, the real test will come with the batteries. So we'll slide that back on, like so, and some batteries in here. Oh man, that looks awesome. Let me turn the light off here. That looks great. I am very, very impressed with how that turned out. I think that is one of the coolest workarounds I've ever seen. Oh man. Okay, so for context, I'll leave this one on here so that we can see the difference. I'll grab the other one. We're going to pop the shell off. So remember, this is one that has the original in it. We're going to pop some batteries in and show you the difference. So look at that. That is super cool. You can barely even tell. Oh my gosh. Man, I need to fix my camera. But look at that. That looks great. Super happy with how that turned out. And way cheaper than finding another Wavebird controller. I'll tell you that. Now, next step's going to be trying to figure out a way to sand down these dog bite marks. Now, the other good news is I might even be able to pop that out and refit it to wash it, which is, I think, is interesting. But that's all it is. It's a little bit of hot glue, painter's tape. Make yourself a little template to keep its shape. Now, let's see if I can get the we're gonna put this baby all back together and see how it does with. I gotta make sure that I got all the same room, got enough room for power switch and everything. I think it will. I think that template has done its job really well, but I like to be certain. So we're gonna pop everything back in here into the front plate. Well, shoot. That actually looks like we might have some trouble here. Oop. Gosh. One of these days I'll have a proper setup, we'll see. But the power button, power switch, does not go all the way down as much as I'd hoped. Not sure. Yeah, because I need it to go I need to click when it goes down. So dang, might not have the perfect fix, or might not have the perfect perfect positioning after all. I have to take some adjustments with it. What I'm gonna try doing, I'm gonna use see if I can find a blunt poker here to push this guy out. But I don't want to poke it. You know, I might just use my pliers. I was thinking about poking it from this side, but I think what I'll do is I'm going to see if I can just wiggle it loose. Maybe come in from the bottom here. There we go. Okay. So that's our little, oops. I don't even know what to call this thing. It's almost like our little LED shade, like a lamp shade sort of thing. So there's our little mold. So what I really got to do is carve out a place for the power cord, or the power switch, which honestly doesn't really go past it that far. Just goes past it a little bit, but it has to be able to go down all the way. Oh, it's so close. So dang close. The good news is, I now know if I wanted to redo this, I could make a different template. I just don't really want to because it turned out so well the first time. But I think all I have to do is shave off a little bit of the top, which, being that it is just hot glue, I should be able to do this with a little knife. So each of these corners, each of these little areas here is the side that I don't want to cut off. I want to cut this side off here. So we're going to take a little razor, and I'm just going to ever so carefully, I don't know if I'll be able to get an angle of this or not without cutting myself. Get a good angle of me cutting myself probably, but okay, so just carved off a little side of it here, just like that. We're going to see if that fits. Blunt piece to push that in. Not really going down there like it did when it first fit. Just recently acquired some old school dental tools, which is really cool. There. I'm really just jabbing it. See if I can get it to go all the way in. Okay, well, I may end up just having to reform this, but we're gonna see. Oh, it does fit. I think if I can turn this just ever so slightly, it'll fit back into its home. And make sure I put it in as straight as it was. No, man. I may end up just having to reform this. We'll see. I'm going to do this one more time. I think I'm smashing up the glue. So it's not looking as good as it did. So you know what? I think we're going to just, with how easy it was to form it, we're going to change up our template slightly here. And we're just going to try to do it again. So this just needs to fit inside there. So dang close, man. What stinks is that, well, it's not terrible. It's right on the edge. Right on the edge. This was perfect. I loved how this worked out, but it's going to be right next to the little spot. So I'm going to work on making another template, and we'll give it a go number 2. Alright, I'm going to record this before my battery dies, but I was able to get a new template in there, and I think it turned out pretty well. Take this off. Didn't go as deep this time as I wanted it to. Dang. Well, you know what? We're going to call it a day, and maybe I'll try this again tomorrow. I guess first time's the charm sometimes. But the good news is, the template worked. Because with the little power switch, I was able to put that in. And it prevented it from getting in the glue. So, we're going to try it again. Third time will definitely be the charm. Alright, well, I had to show the finished product. That was with the last template, and power switch works just fine, and the front looks exactly how I wanted it to. So I'm going to cut away, we're going to put her all back together, and then we'll show you the finished product. Alright, well, I've got her all back together, buttons in place, and I'll turn off the light here so you can see. Works like a charm. So, hot glue, and a little bit of trial and error, and we've got our LED, I don't know what to call this, lens back and functioning. And it'll keep the dust from getting into the motherboard, so even if I keep this for my personal use, I think it's a pretty dang good fix. So I'll make sure to put credit to that Redditor down in the description, and keep you posted on the rest of the progress and what I end up doing with this. See you next time.